Yeah, yours popped up on mine too. Okay, come on. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all you IUIC out there who pushing His word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And there's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone, Dallas, and Houston Church, and we want to go into a quick lesson. As you've seen, I guess it's going to be the hot topic of the week now. If nothing else arises, a lot of stuff happening within Israel, how men acting, the different doctrines that's been coming out. But I know the Apostle Gabal, he was the first one to hop on it with dealing with IUIC and Bishop Nate with his I guess it's a new breakdown or it's a secret one he's been keeping in his arsenal that he bringing out now. But nevertheless, he went into Revelation, the 20th chapter, and also the Apostle Ramlab did a lesson on it, and I'm sure a few other brothers will as well. But he went into Revelation, the 20th chapter, and he read about those 1,000-year periods, and which we know in Revelation, the 20th chapter, although it could be verse 2, verse 3, that's different time periods, man. That's not in chronological order, you see? But his main gripe was that once we're in the kingdom, you see, once we're in the kingdom, eventually, I guess after 1,000 years, these other nations, Esau, Elam, Ham, once we're in the kingdom as Israelites ruling in Yahweh Shai kingdom, when heaven is going to be brought to earth, he said these other nations is going to get them band together to try to take us down in our own kingdom. That was written that we was going to have forever, man. We're not going to have no opposition when we rule. Solomon ain't have none. You know, David took down all the enemies. When Yahweh Shai come, he going to take down all the enemies. Nobody going to rise up again, man. Nobody, you ain't going to have no Edomites holding count on you feel me, on Jasper Street or Amethyst Street. You see they got camp on the corner. It's prophesying against Yahweh Shai and the Israelites, man.
On the corner, give you a lane and Mariah.
Right. Come on, man. That's not what's gonna happen. And one, you gotta remember, we gonna be a different people than everybody else. We're gonna have new bodies, spiritual power. The laws gonna be in us. So the laws gonna be in us. So if we following our power, he ain't gonna send no nation after us. I think that might was in Jeremiah or something I was reading. How the Lord said, Isaiah, Psalms 54, Isaiah 54, one of them. But he said how I sent these nations against you, but once he saved us again, no other nation will be sent that. I'll try to find no other nation will be sent that us again. I think it's a 54th chapter, maybe Psalms or Isaiah. But nevertheless, look, that's not written in the scriptures that these nations was going to take us down. If so, what are other precepts to support that argument, man? When Yahweh Shai come, we gonna rule, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be like that forever. You see, but you got something else?
I got one.
You got it.
This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 9, right? Because he was going, like you said, you know, he pretty much, you know, based his feeble argument, you know, centered off of, you know, Revelation 20th chapter, which, you know, any you know, learned Hebrew Israelite, right, that's been in this thing for not even for some time. I mean, just first coming in, like when you learn to break down Revelation 20, and even when you read it, you can tell that it jumps, right? And that's also grammatically speaking, when you look at when you even read it, you can see the paragraph, you know, marks, you know, in Revelation 20th chapter, letting you know that there's different context in there, right? So it's not to be read as a novel or as a continuous chapter, right? That's a lot of history jumping back and forth in that chapter. So, but that Yahweh Shai made that as a stumbling block, man. This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 9. Who had ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. That's right. And this is a part of what's going to be happening in the kingdom of heaven, right? And the Lord, you know, set these things out in dark parables in the form of, you know, prophecies, you know, dark speeches. But ultimately, the Lord didn't give you the ears to hear, you know, and the eyes to see and the understanding, right? To give you that vision, man. You're not gonna be able to understand what's going to be, you know, partaking in the kingdom. And this is why you have a lot of people, especially the Christian church, but as you can see, a lot of Israelite groups, man, just totally in the dark when it comes to things that's going to be happening in the kingdom.
I found it. You was finished? Like,
Yeah.
real quick, this is Isaiah chapter 54, and I'm going to start at verse 13. It's the NLT. Now, what the Most High go explain, once he save us, he ain't going to send no other nations at us. And he going to even be kind of sarcastic and say, look, if they come, I ain't send them. Right? But this is Isaiah chapter 54, and this one we rule, because the header goes into the future glory for Jerusalem. Isaiah 54 and 13 in the NLT, it says, I will teach all your children, and they will enjoy great peace. You will be secure under a government that is just and fair. Your enemies will stay far away. It's never said nothing, Bishop they'll go, make plans and Psalms 83 is again, and hold tumults, right? It says, your enemies will stay far away. You will live in peace, and terror will not come near. If any nation comes to fight you, it is not because I sent them, and whoever attacks you will go down in defeat. Now the point is, the Lord saying, I have created the blacksmith who fans the coals beneath the forge and makes the weapons of destructions. I have created the armies that destroy. But in that coming day, no weapon turned against you will succeed. So nothing gonna happen to us as Israelites, man. That ain't even gonna be in the mindset of these heathens. They're gonna be in fear. You got many chapters and verses going into that. Isaiah 61 has, they said they go see our people and bow down, man. We ain't have to force them to get down with the program. They could be made to get down with the program, and they ain't gonna get out of order.
You might read verse 13 again.
Come. This is Isaiah 54 and 13 in the NLT. I will teach all your children.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that point. Who's those children, man? Because that was another argument that he was, trying to make. He was saying pretty much, how the elect ain't going to bring forth children, right, of the nation of Israel in the kingdom, right? Because why? He subscribes to the Christianity, right, Greek philosophy of hell, right? And you see where if you sin, the Lord's going to send your spirit down to a place, to the bottom of the abyss in the midst of the earth, and he's going to allow the devil to poke your spirit, man, in the fire. No, hey, man, the Lord is allowing a lot of these divisions, right? Amongst the nation of Israel, so he can show you who has a true doctrine, man. All right. So you mean to tell me that the Lord is going to, pretty much punish Israelites for all of eternity, but yet heathens are going to be in the kingdom, right? In slavery, they're going to be able to see the kingdom, right? But not the seed of the promise, man.
Right.
Oh man, so that was one of his points, man. That there's not going to be Israelite children in the kingdom, man. That's going to be coming forth from the elect. We just read it. Can you read it one more time?
I got you. It's Isaiah chapter 54. So like I dropped. Isaiah 54 and 13 in the NLT. It says, I will teach all your children, and they will enjoy great peace.
That's right, man. Those children are the children from the elect, from the loins of the elect, man. Like you read in Zechariah, the 8th chapter speaks about how you're going to have how you're going to have the young men, the little boys and the little girls playing in the streets. And you're going to have the ancients, right, with the rods and staffs in their hands, man. Right. Who are those little boys and little girls? They're not going to stay little boys and little girls forever. Right. They had a birth. They had a nativity, man. Right? And because remember, the kingdom of heaven is going to be on the earth. And what was the first commandment that the Lord, told Adam, man? Be fruitful and multiply. Right. You see? So it's going to be a lot of multiplication happening in the kingdom of heaven here on earth. And how's that act done? Through sex, man. And, through the loins of the elect, that's how the rest of the nation of Israel is going to be brought back together, man. Fulfilling the promise that he promised our forefather Abraham. All right, another one, Romans 11:26, all of Israel shall be saved. So I just want to bring that point out.
This is Isaiah 11, and start at verse 9. And when you go into this, it's going into how the line of David is going to come. You would like to say Yahweh Shai is going to sit on the throne of King David, and he's going to rule, with the tribes. Now, you have them trying to, they trying to go in and say that we're going to have conflict, or they're going to try to come and have a slave revolt. That is not going to happen. One thing, they're going to see the glory and the power that's going to be in the nation of Israel. So why are they won't even try to think about coming up. Only the Edomites. That's why, like I said, 1,000 years, that destruction for them will happen.
Now, because you said they will come up. Remember what happened when the Lord brought judgment on Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
Rahab said all the nations feared.
All of
They
them.
didn't want to do nothing. They were shook at that. How much more now, man? It's like,
Exactly. Yeah, that was within what? The mortal body was having that power in Howard Shot. Just think when he give us those new bodies, you know. Hey, that's they won't even think about that. Like you said, you just gonna have the wicked. Like you said, 3 classes of men. I mean, 3 classes. You have the sons of the Most High, the sons of men, and the sons of the wicked. Only the wicked, the ones that's not gonna want to bow down or want to basically gonna try to turn over a new leaf. But the nation, like I said, they're gonna be happy. You know, you're gonna have the earth is gonna be flourishing. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom's gonna be flourishing, so they're gonna be at peace, and they're gonna be at peace when we say, "Hey, we finna after 1,000 years, we finna go put all these Edomites, round them up and destroy them. You know, get the pure wickedness off the earth at that time." All right, this is Isaiah 11 and verse 9, and like I say, this is like I say when the throne of David is being established and the kingdom of heaven is being restored upon the earth. It says, "Nothing will hurt," and this is an NLT. "Nothing will hurt or destroy in all my holy mountains. For as the waters fill the sea, so the earth will be filled with the people know the Lord. In that day, the heir of David's throne will be a banner of salvation to all the world. The nation will rally to him." Listen to that. The nations will rally to him. That reminds me of Isaiah 14. You know, it says, "And the land where he lives will be a glorious place." All right, you see that? The land where he lives will be a glorious place. They're not going to want to receive from that. So when he says it's going to become something like a slave revolt, you know what I'm saying? Because we will have the other nations in subjection, you know, because we're going to be rulers of the earth. When you have a nation that's ruling, the rest of the nation will be in subjection. That's just how the things go, you know. But the Lord said he's going to take back the kingdom. It's not going to be nobody trying to say, okay, well, we're going to come together, you know, because we're going to be doing all.
right.
You know?
All right. You got something about it?
Con, just something real quick. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This is Jeremiah 3:17 in the NLT. "In that day, Jerusalem will be known as the throne of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. All nations will come there to honor Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. They will no longer stubbornly follow their own evil desires." Why? Because they're going to see Yahweh, right, and 144,000 elect men, right, in that perfect, pristine, powerful estate, man. They know, like, bro, we will be dumb as hell. That'd be committed suicide, man, to try to come up against these men. All right, because remember, man, hey, the way Yahweh is about to come and enter into this atmosphere the second time, man, right, it's going to be, you know, something that the world has never seen. You're going to have a huge fathership accompanied by millions upon millions of angels, man, cracking wide open the sky, man, and just fire just comes out. So you think that they're going to think, okay, well, shit, maybe these AKs and, you know, these feeble weapons of ours, you know, will be able to take them. No, man. Because even when you read Ezekiel the 38th, the 39th chapter, it speaks about how we're going to be burning all their weapons of war.
Yeah.
So if they do try to come up or want to come up against us, with what weapons, man? We done burnt up all your weapons. There's going to be peace, man.
I got it real quick, and we can get into that Revelation 20. Because when you go to 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter, remember this when David was being told about his son, Solomon. But when you read it, this pinpoint Yahushua, the everlasting kingdom, beaten with the stripes of men. Now, although we know David took down all the enemies, so Solomon did have a kingdom in peace. But how much more now when he come back for an everlasting one? That's the point I want to get. This is 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 10. Now, mind you, it's going into Solomon kingdom, right? It says, "Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them that they may dwell in a place of their own and move no more. And neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them anymore as before time." So there ain't gonna be no more uprising against the children of Israel ever. We ain't gonna go through no affliction, hard times again, man. You know, that's what it is. And these things are set. You know, you got it.
Okay. I'm going to get that Revelation 20 for you. It's, I'm going to start from the top. Revelation 20 and verse 1, he says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is called the devil and Satan.
Right, was that's the so-called white man by way of his power structure. Back then it was the Roman Empire. You know, but it's that same devil, as it says, that old serpent, that same spirit that was in the garden. You know, that same wicked spirit that was in Cain and Esau and their descendants, this that same man. But by way of that mainly the Western Roman Empire at the time. You see? You got it out.
It says, I'm starting verse 2 again. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Shaitan or Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him.
In other words, took his power away. His authority in earth, he took it away. It says that for 1,000 years. That's when that Western Roman Empire fell. Then who rose after that? The Eastern Roman side, which was Israelites, Jakes. That was the Byzantine Empire, which people know as the Dark Ages. You know, they say it's, you know, the Dark Ages because, you know, nothing happened. You know, history was lost. You know, no, you was cut off. That's why I was dark. You was cut off. You weren't making no noise. You know, but that's that 1,000 years is going into now. Esau falling, and you know, Jake in the Byzantine Empire getting that dominion, man. You got it, brother.
Yeah, that's like I say, that seal is going to that, like I said, that Dark Ages, because he said it was the amount of time where that seal will expire, and he'll come out for a short season. That's actually in the same chapter. Come, yeah, verse 7. You know, so that's going until when he's going to be loose. He that 1,000 years. That's the seal that was set upon him. You know, that's when they was pushed back into what those caves, those mountains. You know, what was if I'm not mistaken, from like 470 BC to, you know, to up to 1080 for the Dark Ages.
Dark Ages was roughly around, I think it was like 427 BC to like maybe 1400s, 1400s.
Yeah, right at 1,000
In the books, it got 1350, but it's really like, you know, early 1400s.
Yeah.
But you can look it up and say 1,000 years.
Yeah, right at 1,000 years.
Yeah. So the scriptures line up, and this was written before that happened. You know.
Right.
It said, verse 3 again, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season.
And the reason we going into this because this is what Bishop Nate was using to make his argument, man. You know, but it says Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, was going to be shut up for 1,000 years to that little season till he come back out. And we know when he came back out, the Renaissance, they called it rebirth.
Right.
Rebirth. He was brought back into the earth, having power, having dominion again, man. You see, you got it, bro.
Verse 7.
And it's the thing, as the apostle around live always go into. This is not in chronological order when we read it. We read verse 1 through 3, and then when you jump to 7, it continues from there because verse 5, 4, and 5, and 6 talk about another time period when we gonna rule with Yahushua. And that rule, and we gonna after we read 7, we'll go back up. But that rule with Yahushua is not just for 1,000 years. So you telling me the Lord waited roughly 2,000 years to rule, but he only gonna get 1,000 when he do come back down. No, man. This will be an everlasting thing. That 1,000-year period when we rule is going into the first dominion. And roughly around the time, because we don't know how long them days gonna be, but this will be the time period when these heathens will be in captivity, building back up the earth. You see? And Isaiah 14 going to the same thing. But after that, then Esau will get destroyed. These nations still gonna serve us. It never said nothing up on that about them coming against us, though. You know?
Okay, cool.
You got it, bro.
I say too. That's why the Lord in the scripture say read precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, there a little. It's not gonna be directly. That's why you got to break it down correctly. You can't just go straight through and say this is what happened and like Colin mentioned in chronological order. This is something that you're supposed to jump, precept upon precept, especially in Revelation 20.
And it's Micah chapter 4 and verse 8. He says, and thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, and who was that? The elect. Unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. You see? So, this is what Revelation the 20th chapter is going into, right? The 1,000-year reign, right? That's coming first and foremost for the elect. That's where the 144,000, right? And Yahweh, well, first and foremost, Yahweh Shah and 144,000. That's when that rod of iron that's spoken about in Revelation 2nd chapter is going to really be cracked over the skulls of these heathens, man. To like house break them, to like restore order back in the earth. And it's gonna be a rule. It's gonna be a rule that's very rough. It's gonna be a rough regime, man, because you see all the type of abominations and evils that these nations are used to. You're gonna have to clean up all this concrete, just get all this, just purge all this wickedness that this devil has pretty much deceived the whole earth with, man. You see, so that's what this 1,000 years is going into. All right.
Can you read through again and jump to 7? Okay. And then we'll just go back into 4 and
Okay,
run through it. Then just flow.
Okay, reading verse 3 again, Revelation 20:3. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season.
Right, so it's giving a foreshadowing on what was to be dealing with the so-called white man. Right, he was going to be shut up. He was going to lose his power, and that's when Western Roman Empire fell. Then you had a 1,000 years of the Dark Ages, man, when Jake was ruling the Byzantine Empire. But then he was going to come out of that locked up estate, that lower state, and the Lord's going to give him dominion again to go out and deceive the world. And we living in that part. He came out and deceived the world. Correct? Not just the city, but the world, man. But we living in that. That's why we got the white image, Jesus. Again, Renaissance. You see, you got to go, bro.
Verse 7. Skipping down to verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired.
So when the Dark Ages go be done with, when Jake was going to be finished ruling, and Esau was going to be done being in that lower state, what was going to happen?
It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
And that's where we get the Renaissance from, man. You see, the rebirth, and he went back into the earth, and that's when he fulfilled that Genesis 27 blessing. You see, when he was given the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above, because before that, Esau didn't have dominion over the whole earth. From this point on, when he was loose that little season, from that point on, this man got the domain over the whole earth, and that's what we living in today. You got something? You can jump up to 4 now. I can just read it through.
Yep. Skipping up to verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them.
Who will sit on those thrones? The brother just said that's the 144,000. Did not Yahweh Shai say when Peter asked him, which David asked him, right? When Peter asked him, he said, Lord, seeing that we have left everything behind, what shall we have done for? Yahweh Shai said, y'all go sit on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Psalms 122, when it said, you got it.
It's Psalms chapter 122 and verse 5. For there are set thrones in judgment.
You can read like 3.
Yep. Psalms 122 and verse 3. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together.
So when we come back, when the Lord brings his people back, when we begin to rule,
whither the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, unto the testimony of Israel, to give thanks unto the name of the Lord. For there are.
I'm just like I can say it's for there. So in the kingdom, it's going to tell us what's going to be set up, man.
For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. As a matter of fact, I'm skipping down verse 7. Peace be within thy walls, and prosperity within thy palaces.
So you ain't saying nothing about a revolt?
No.
All right. It's peace.
Yeah.
It's going to be peace, man. We don't have no worry or thought that our slaves get out of line.
And it also proves that, right, in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, when it speaks about the land of the unwalled villages, it's not talking about the kingdom of heaven, right? Because that was another point that Bishop Nathaniel was trying to make. When you read Ezekiel 38, it's talking about when you read the unwalled villages, he said that that's going to the kingdom of heaven. No, we just read that that it's going to be peace within our walls. We're going to have walls, man. The land of unwalled villages is going into America. That city that dwells carelessly, as it says in Zephaniah, the 1st chapter, man. And when you travel throughout the United States, right? You don't, each city or each, state that you go through, you don't have to pass through no walls.
Right.
This is that land that dwells carelessly. Why? Because it's away from all these other nations to where it doesn't have to, where that's why it's known as the virgin daughter of Babylon, man. You see? But when we go back.
You got something up?
This is Luke 1 and 32. I started 31. It says, it's going into Yahweh Shah, which will, go into that. It says, I'm reading the NLT, you will conceive and give birth to a son, and you will name him Yahweh Shah. And this is the angel talking to Mary, and he says, he will be very great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord power will give him the throne of his ancestor David, and he will reign over Israel forever. His kingdom will never end. So the other nations are going to understand that. They're going to see that it's going to reign forever and ever. They're going to see the mighty power. You're basically trying to bring the Lord low when you try to say they're going to feel like they can overthrow the throne.
Right.
When you try to give it basically trying to say, oh, the other nations, they're going to have power in the kingdom. They be like, we probably can take them down. You don't know the magnitude. You're not really giving the people the magnitude of how glorious the nation of Israel is going to be at that time. That's what we're trying to get to. You're not going to understand that the power that the nation of Israel is going to have is not going to be. It's sort of like something that's never been seen upon the earth. Mm-hmm. When we basically were back in our first estate, and having that power, that glory, we're going to be able to run what is that scripture? The least one is going to be it's like King David. Yeah,
in the house of David, that's the Allah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that is pure power, and you got to think how David went through these different armies and stuff. Him and those mighty men, and just think how much powerful we're going to be than that. So you trying to say these other nations are going to have a mentality saying, what, we making now take these guys. We should try to take this kingdom back. No, they're going to have that mindset of saying, what, we're in a good place. Let's keep them happy. We'll be able to stop the rain.
Right.
We'll put droughts in their land if they don't get right. You know what I'm saying? If we can't get rights in the kingdom, they got to get back in line. So hey, that's the power we're gonna have. Controlling the elements of the earth. Man, you wouldn't even think you wouldn't even fathom to take over. Let's try to do a revolt. Come on, that's really not coinciding with what the kingdom of heaven is gonna be like.
Yeah,
the power that we're gonna have. No.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to read their minds anyway.
Right.
So it's not like you'll even be able to react, upon, even if you did have that wicked thought, it's gonna be rebuked right then and there, man. And we're gonna make, whoever had that thought as a public example. So that thought will never come inside anybody's mind, let alone the actual action that's gonna come forth from it.
And we gonna put it, even if it is, right? They might get drunk one night, you might drunk too much yaya in the field. You see? And he get that thought. When you go back to the law, because we go be as the Most High that day, we're gonna judge according. When evil, if anything evil arises, what the Most High do, he cut it out quick. Mm-hmm. He cut it out quick. So everybody else can get an example on what not to do. So like the brother saying, if anybody even get a mindset on let's take down these Israelites, which it ain't gonna be that. These nations gonna want to do what they can do, whatever to please us, man, to get on our good side.
That's right.
That's why I said they gonna be willing to come bring us all these spices and come bring us their riches. We gonna suck the breast of the Gentiles, man. Mm-hmm. They gonna be willing to do those things. And they gonna be a fight. We gotta force them to, man.
Right.
But even if something was to happen, that's a capital IF. It's gonna be put out very quick, man.
I gotta go. Well, this is Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the Most High heaven set up a kingdom. And we're in the process of this happening right now. Right, in the days of these particular Gentiles, these heathens ruling, particularly Esau, Edom, the Lord is setting up, right, the throne of the house of David once more. It says, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. See, so our kingdom is not going to be left to other people, man. The Elam, they're not going to be trying to make an alliance with Ishmael and say, hey, let's go and take down, the southern part of Judah. Nah, man.
Right. Damn.
Yeah, that's why I said we're gonna break them in pieces and consume them. When someone is consumed, that means what? That they have no control over themselves, man.
Right.
You see? Isaiah, I got another quick one for you. Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 12 in the NLT. You will live in joy and peace. The mountains and hills will burst into song, and the trees of the field will clap their hands. So we're going to live in joy and peace, man. We're not going to have to worry about, because that's a curse. Just the very fact that you as a king, like, you have to worry about another nation possibly, waging war against you. No, man. It's going to be a perfect harmony, perfect, perfect peace. And once again, I had quoted Ezekiel 39. If I can get it real quick.
I know you got it, brother.
This is Ezekiel chapter 39. Now, this is after, World War III, man. This is pretty much the aftermath of World War III, right? This is Ezekiel chapter 39, because in the prior chapter, Ezekiel 38 chapter speaks about God and make God, right, gathering together all these little nations as we see happening right now, right? The next chapter goes into the aftermath of World War III. Ezekiel chapter 39 and verse 8 in the in KJV. Behold, it is come and it is done, saith the Lord power. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel, right? And who's going to be dwelling there at this time? Us, man. It says, shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows. So all the missiles, right? All these MRAP vehicles, right? All the weapons of war. It says what? The bows and arrows and the hand staves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, meaning a complete amount of time, man. Verse 10. So that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest. So they're not going to be able to, cut down any tree. They're not going to be able to cut down any of our trees and try to make a weapon out of that. Right. It says, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, saith Yahweh Bashar Shah. All right. So if these other, particularly IUIC, they had an understanding on prophecy, right? They'll understand. They'll know that, that what Bishop Nathaniel said, it just doesn't line up with prophecy, man. Right. Like it's black and white. Like
that's like one of the Isaiah 2 when it says they're gonna beat their swords into plowshares. That's the reverse of Micah 4 when they talking about they're gonna beat their Joel beating their plowshares and the sword. They're gonna basically revert all the way back. Yes.
Oh, you got it, brother.
This is 1 Corinthians 15.
That is what I have.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's what
you had
all three of us.
I'm about 2 or 3.
Where you gonna start?
I was start at 23.
Okay, yeah. No problem. I was reading the NLT. Just because like I say, get that background and get that the understanding. It's 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. It says, but there is an order, and then the NLT is that, but there is an order to this resurrection. Mashiach was raised as the first of the harvest. Then all who belong to Mashiach will raise when he comes back. It says, after that, the end will come. When he will turn the kingdom over to the Most High, the Father, having destroyed every ruler and authority and power.
Right. The Lord will destroy. And look, this is the thing, when he come back, he gonna take power away, start with their kings, though. The kings gonna be in fear. Look, you gonna be in chains. You gonna have no opportunity to even come up with an idea, a plan, a blueprint. Why Yahweh Shai sleep? We gonna, because I'm his cupbearer. So
right.
he will be sleep, man. Come on, man. We will have power. And you know what? Because these heathens still gonna be in these regular bodies, right? They ain't gonna have the second covenant with the laws in them. Now they gonna be trying to keep the laws we trying today. But even if Esau was to raise up and try to get in these heathens' ear, they gonna be in so much fear, they might go tell on Esau. Just like Mordecai did, them 2 spies with Cyrus, you see, or Xerxes. But these people will be on our side in that day. Because you know what? Proverbs 29:2, they gonna understand the way we rule is beneficial to them.
That's right.
Beneficial to the world. So why would they get out of line? Come on, man. Especially when Esau get taken out the way, that's gonna put fear into them. Because they go, okay, so if you do this, then that's the judgment. We ain't gonna do that then. You know? So all rule, all authority go put down the day Yahweh shall come back, and it's never gonna raise up again, man. They ain't gonna have the white, Jesse Jackson and Biden. You raising up.
Yeah.
And Trump.
Dabu.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, man. No, man. You got it, Doc.
It's verse 25. Y'all read 24 again. It says, at the end, and that end, and after that, the end will come when he will turn the kingdom over to Yahweh the Father, having destroyed every ruler and authority and power. For Mashiach must reign until he humbles all his enemies beneath his feet. And the last enemy to be destroyed is death. All right? And the last enemy, like you say, is going to be destroyed is death. Now, that's why I like to say when they're destroyed, you got to think Esau is also the harbinger of death. You got to think also, Yahweh Shai, he already conquered death in these mortal bodies. He came back, and he's going to come back. And I mean, he is a man. Yes, death is going to be destroyed. One thing is, that's why you got to take Esau, the wicked, out the earth. And that's what's going to happen. Like I said, the last enemy is destroyed is death. So we're going to say, okay, if death is destroyed, now let's go ahead and destroy the harbinger of death after that 1,000 years. Who is that going into Revelation 6, that red horse? Death and hell followed. That's Esau Edom. So we're going to get rid of that. So these other nations, the priest just mentioned it, they're going to see that and they're like, okay, that's some power. And we see what happened to them. So from their generation, they'll still be dying and coming back. Because like I said, they're not going to have those mortal bodies. They're not going to have that the everlasting covenant within them.
You mean
so,
immortal?
Immortal, yes. Yes, like it, the one. They're immortal bodies. So that's going to have their generations to come through them. They're going to have that remembrance. So they're going to always know what happened to the Edomites.
I got a quick one for you. Unless you have something.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 7, and verse 16 in the NLT. It says, all the nation, and this is speaking about right during a time of salvation when the Lord's going to be delivering the elect of the nation of Israel. Right, Micah 7 and 16 in the NLT. All the nations of the world will stand amazed at what the Lord will do for you. They will be embarrassed at their feeble power. Micah 7. Yeah, it says they're going to be embarrassed of their feeble power. Why? 2nd Ezra chapter 13 goes into it. When Yahweh Shah comes with that stone graven, how's it go? The stone graven
without hands.
Yeah, without hands, man. All right, and without labor, how he destroyed them, man. You see, coming with all power with that fathership, and once again the multitude of the angels that's going to accompany him, man. It's in that same chapter, 2nd Ezra 13. It speaks about how they're going to be afraid to even fight against him in that day. Right? So it says they will be embarrassed at their feeble power. They will cover their mouths in silent awe and deaf to everything around them. Like snakes crawling from their holes, they will come out to meet the Lord, our power. They will fear him greatly, trembling in terror at his presence. That don't sound like a nation of people that's going to, try to come up against them. That sounds like people that's scared as shit, man. You see? They're going to see that their so-called, power, right? Their chariots, their aircraft, their Blue Angels, all the military power, the MRAP vehicles, their tanks, the Humvees, even the ICBM missiles, man. The ICBM missiles going to look like little flies compared to, Yahweh Shai going to swat that down, man.
That's what it said. Even for Leviathan, they say he gonna play with him and shit.
Man, you see, so they're gonna know, man. Like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. We can't come up against this regime. So the best thing to do, like the saying in the world, get down and lay down. And they gonna get down with the program, man.
Yeah, I got a quick one. Because you remember when we went into our land the first time with Moses, the same thing was told them. When y'all go into this land, people gonna fear y'all. Remember, that was way back then. That wasn't even our real rest. How much more we will get the real rest? And Deuteronomy 28, that's blessings and curses, right? We went through them curses. Remember, like Yatazak always say, it is a 1 through 14. That's them curses. We're gonna get there too. But I want to get this real quick when we went into the land the first time. And then I'm gonna get in a promise in Deuteronomy 28 with the Lord. He reassured that it's gonna be the same way for this time, man. But this is Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 23 in the NLT. It says, then the Lord will drive out all the nations ahead of you. It says, though they are much greater and stronger than you, and this was back then, you will take over their land. Wherever you set foot, the land will be yours. Your frontiers will stretch from the wilderness in the south to Lebanon in the north, and from the Euphrates River in the east to the Mediterranean Sea and to the west. And that was just back then, but now we get in the whole world. But this the point. It says, verse 25, and no one will be able to stand against you. For the Lord your God, let me read that again. No one will be able to stand against you, for Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, your power, will cause the people to fear and dread you as he has promised. And this was just back then. They have spiritual bodies yet. They ain't have that yet. They ain't see Yahushua, you know. Yeah, they see the cloud by day, pillar by night, but you ain't see him standing on top this time. He was in it. He was in it. But this time he gonna be on top of it, man. You gonna see much greater than that. We're gonna be a greater people than what we was back then going into the land. And if it said nobody was able to stand up to us because the fear and dread that they had, how much more when we rule in the kingdom, man? I'm gonna read that again. It says, Deuteronomy 11 and 25 NLT. No one will be able to stand against you, for Yahweh, your power, will cause the people to fear and dread you as he has promised wherever you go in the land. So wherever we move around the kingdom, wherever our children be, man, people gonna fear that. You can have your little infant, you know, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, roaming the world. Him and his pet, you know, his baby Leviathan. He ride on the back of his baby Leviathan, you know. And we ain't gotta worry about him though. Yep. Because look, even if a group of grown-ass Edomite men see him, guess what they gonna do? Bow their ass down in front of little children, man. That's what we did. Come on, man. And they better not, look him in their eye, in his eyes, man. But that's how it's gonna be. So how much more when we rule? And I'm gonna get this too in the blessings. This Deuteronomy 28, and I mind you, have we not fulfilled the curses? So shall we not fulfill these blessings, man? Deuteronomy 28, and I'm gonna start at I'm gonna get straight to the point, verse 9. It says, the Lord shall establish thee as a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy power and walk in his statutes. Now that's the point to make before we read on. We're gonna keep the law, statutes, commandments perfectly in the kingdom because they're gonna be put in us. And the Lord saying right here, if we do these things, the blessings gonna follow. So we gonna do them, right? So we can expect this next blessing we about to read to happen, and if we're gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna read it again. Deuteronomy 28 and 9. It says, the Lord shall establish thee as a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy power and walk in his ways. So if we do, and which we will in the kingdom, the first blessing says, and all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahweh, and they shall be afraid of thee, man. They're gonna see it on us. They're gonna see it, to see the spirit on us, see the power in us, man. They're gonna be afraid of that, so it ain't gonna be nowhere possible, as Bishop Nate said. Eventually in the kingdom, one day they gonna raise up. They gonna get tired, you know, and they gonna raise up on the Sabbath. They gonna plan, look, we're gonna raise up on their Sabbath because they can't break it. You know, come on, man. Nah, it's not gonna happen, man. Andrew Jackson, you know, right. He could try to go in Atlanta Gad again. Come on, man. Yahweh Shai will have to lose no virtue anymore, or even have to use it in that day, man. Right. For what? It never. Once it said he came back and gonna conquer on his second coming, it's nowhere written he's gonna have to do it a third time or a fourth time. And then after he come for his second coming, he put down his enemies. He got to keep doing it. It's one time thing, man. That's it. That's all. So no other nation will rise up against us in the kingdom of heaven when we rule on the earth. It's not gonna happen, man. You know. Oh shit! In Luke 16, with the rich man and Lazarus, right? It's gonna be a great Gulf fix. a separation. We ain't ever gonna live like a heathen again. They never gonna see what it's gonna be like to live like an Israelite, man. It's gonna be a great separation between us and them. So saying we never go through the things as we went through in captivity, and what's one of them? People rose up against us. That's not gonna be no more, man. You know, you gotta do all this like that.
One last one. This is Isaiah 60:12 in the NLT. For the nations that refuse to serve you will be destroyed.
Simple as that. Hey, drop the mic, cut the camera. You gotta bring it out again, though. Right?
Okay, got it. Yeah, this is Isaiah 60:12 in the NLT. You got it. Right? For the nations that refuse to serve you will be destroyed.
That's it. So nobody gonna refuse, man.
Right.
And if they do, it's gonna be harder on them. Just the simple thing is, if they don't come up and on our holy days, when they come around, we go send a famine in their land. So if they don't serve us, they could be put in a worse state, man. And I don't think they're gonna want to do that. You know? Especially when they see the fear of in all Israelites, man, it's gonna be in game, man. When the Lord said we gonna live in peace, no more worry, that's a worry. Your slaves rising up, that's a worry. We gonna live in no more worry or sorrow. Come on, man, we gonna be good forever. And that's what Yahushua bring into the earth. And like you said earlier, that's offensive too. That's offensive for you to say that heathens go rise up again when Yahushua back in this world, man. What he said, if this was my kingdom, my servant go fight.
That's right.
The point is, his servants ain't gonna have to fight no more.
Nope.
He gonna give his servants peace, man. Yep. We done fight. This is the warfare right now. Although, you know, you gotta watch what you say. You know, we ain't fighting a physical battle, you know. But this is the warfare right now, man. Yahushua come and save us from all this, man. That's it and that's all, you know. You got something?
Or just quick point. If they say they're gonna basically it'll be no more weapons, what they gonna fight with?
They're gonna throw their setup out.
Right. Hey, that don't make sense.
Come on, man. But hey, with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. You know, the apostle, he popped it off, the apostle Gabal, and he said for brothers to go ahead and they get your spiritual, 2 cents in. You know, so Lord willing, this was edifying. You know, I'm sure brothers will have different perspectives as well. But this is what we're supposed to do, man. We sit here and defend the gospel. You know, especially defending our Lord Yahushua, which a lot of men, they be trying Yahushua, man. You see, but with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to all IUIC out there, 144,000, who pushing this word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. Keep fighting, keep pushing, and we almost out of here. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.